First of all, thank you for joining this episode, creating new stories, new spiritual stories in India, this time on Mount Abu with the sister, Maureen. Hello to you. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
If you would reveal one moment in your personal life that was the most meaningful in your spiritual journey, what moment would you choose?
Well, of course, there are many, many meaningful moments, but what instantly comes to mind actually is the first time I came to Mount Abu. And so I was then 21 years old. I'd been studying with the Brahma Kumaris for just a few months, 3 or 4 months, and very quickly decided to come to India, to Mount Abu. And when I stepped foot there in the original complex, now we have 3 complexes, that time it was only 1, this was in 1976. And I stepped foot there, and the 2 elder sisters who were the heads of the organization just after the founder, Brahma Baba, passed on, they were waiting to greet our party. And we were the first big party from abroad of about 15, something like that. So that was big those days.
What moved your heart while you arrived to Mount Abu?
Well, it was stepping into the courtyard. I felt at home. I knew this place. And then when I saw these 2 elder sisters, and they looked at me, and I felt so loved, so accepted, and it really felt like, they're not God, of course, but it felt like God was looking at me and welcoming me. It just felt so special.
Yet you came from the UK, you were not in India before, so how could you feel at home in India?
Well, I can only think that my soul was in India before. And actually, I was brought up with stories of India from my childhood because my parents were married in India, actually. So that's a whole story in itself. So there was something about India that we had in our minds. But I think I really feel that it's the soul that recognized. And of course, I understand the whole thing of rebirth. And so I think I've had many, many births in this land.
And for people that were not in Mount Abu or in Rajasthan in India, is there any specific tool that it worked for you in order to create the first step to engage to the spiritual journey that you can think that you can pass on for viewers around the world?
I think important thing is a little bit of curiosity.
As simple as that.
As simple as that. Curiosity about life, curiosity about the meaning of life. And you know, when you have a certain awareness or a certain thought within yourself, that subtly has an impact and leads you in different directions. And so I think from really an early teenager, I had a curiosity. What more is there to life? What more can I learn? I really want to have a life that's meaningful. And so I think that's what led me on the spiritual journey.
You know, part of the people that are in Brahma Kumaris, they decided that the beloved one is God.
Yes.
And you decided, correct me if I'm wrong, that the beloved one is God, but you're also married to the beloved one.
Yes, yes. David means, his name is David, and it means beloved. Yeah.
And he's also a Jewish old king, the Almighty One. So how could you put all the things together in this spiritual journey in your life?
Yeah, because also before we were with Brahma Kumaris, we were studying with particular teachings, and in those teachings, God was also known as the beloved in those teachings. So that's interesting. This has been a very much a theme. I think I had love for God since childhood. And so I used to meditate, do a mantra, but then I just sit and I would just think of God and have lovely feelings. And that was my best bit of meditation. And so I didn't take it as, if I have that love for God and that, dedication to God, that it means that I can't also have other relationships. And so I feel as if love has increased in me because of the love I've received from God. And so the love in my relationships is also increased. It's not decreased.
If you would visualize one dream, 1 year from now, 10 years from now, 50 years from now, in your spiritual journey, what dream would you like to accomplish?
Well, if I think 50 years from now, I'd still like to be alive in this body. I'd be quite old. But thinking about the dream, I would, for myself, like to be able to be a very, very true instrument, so that really whatever God wants to do through me, anything of my own personal fears or worries or personality or anything does not interfere, and I can really be a very clear and true instrument. So I can be so honest in my living and honest with God, so that that's possible, and I can, help God in the transformation of this world.
Thank you so much. And with your permission, towards the end of this interview, perhaps we can take a few moments of silence together.
Yeah.
Sister Maureen, from the UK, here in India, I want to thank you so much for this interview.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
And Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. And thank you also for being with us on this episode of Spiritual Journeys, Spiritual Understandings here in India, in Mount Abu. ContentoNow TV. Thank you.